How many of you are here for the free cookies? Because we've discontinued that.
Discontinued food items. It's heartbreaking when your favorite food items are no longer available. You never know when it's going to happen, and not even the most popular, most delicious food items are immune. So sit back and prepare for things to get a little nostalgic. Here are some more of the top 10 discontinued foods we miss. Froot Loops Straws.
Froot Loops.
The enduring popularity of Froot Loops has led to the creation of several derivative products, one of them being Froot Loops Straws. These 6-inch straws had an outer layer of Froot Loops cereal and an inner layer of a white, sugary coating.
Sugar walls.
The original colors were orange, red, yellow, and green, just like the cereal they were inspired by. While some chose to eat Froot Loops straws as is, most used them as straws to drink milk and proceeded to eat them afterwards. The idea behind these straws was that they would flavor the milk to taste like the cereal.
Tastes like Froot Loops.
While a bowl of Froot Loops is amazing in and of itself, the best part is always that mouthful of sweetened milk left over at the bottom of the bowl. That's the flavor they were hoping to attain with Froot Loops straws. All in all, these straws are basically just more exciting Froot Loops. We're sad that we can no longer enjoy our favorite cereal in such an entertaining way. Flavor blasted jalapeno cheese Goldfish.
With a sack that smiles back, Goldfish.
All the cool kids in elementary school had a Ziploc bag of Goldfish crackers as their recess snack. The snack that smiles back has been in circulation since 1962, although the smile was only added in 1997, with new takes on the original cheddar flavor being released with frequency over the years. While the original flavor will always reign supreme, we can't say we haven't loved some of the other flavors as well, one of them being Flavor Blasted Jalapeno Cheese. This is but one of the many, many varieties of Goldfish in the Flavor Blasted lineup.
Could it have been Flavor Blasted?
Which is a subset of Goldfish that supposedly took the flavor to a whole other level. The crackers in this lineup were said to be far tastier and more delicious than the original varieties, which were more subdued. Most of the Flavor Blasted Goldfish, like Explosive Pizza and Bursting Barbecue, are still available today, but unfortunately, jalapeno cheese got the axe. Full Throttle Coffee Energy Drink.
Too late. I'm already full throttle over here.
In 2004, the Full Throttle energy drink brand hit shelves courtesy of Coca-Cola. In 2015, the company struck a deal with Monster Energy to transfer to them the ownership of all their energy drinks, including Full Throttle. Even if you're not a fan of energy drinks, it would be impressive if you made it through the early 2000s without learning about Monster.
Monster Energy. Put it in your body and ask questions later.
With 34 drinks to its name, the Monster brand was first introduced in 2002. While Full Throttle energy drink and several of its variants are still around today, the Full Throttle coffee line has unfortunately been discontinued. You may have heard of Monster's Java line or Rockstar's Roasted line. Full Throttle coffee was essentially the same as those. Luckily for us, Monster's and Rockstar's coffee drinks are still around, so we don't have to go without that extreme caffeine boost. Full Throttle coffee was sold in cans, just like the energy drink itself, and came in 3 flavors: caramel, vanilla, and mocha. Its tagline was, "Coffee, fully charged." This drink undoubtedly got many a student through finals season while they spent nights cramming in the library. As such, we can assume that there are many people out there who are forever grateful for this caffeine-loaded beverage. Giggles Cookies. Giggles Cookies were like Oreos in that they were made up of 2 thin cookies with a filling in between. The cookies themselves were shortbread, either chocolate or vanilla, and the filling was a fudge and vanilla flavored center. Yes, you heard correctly. The cookies were filled with both chocolate and vanilla cream. It was truly the best of both worlds.
It's the best of both worlds.
As delicious as these cookies sound, they were discontinued about 10 years after their release in the early 80s. Of course, the reason these cookies are so memorable isn't how delicious they were. It's far more superficial. The top cookie of this delectable cookie sandwich was distinctive because it was designed to look like a giggling face, hence the name of the cookies, and hence the nightmares. Giggles Cookies were pretty popular throughout the 80s, but as time went on, the excitement about them started to wane. While these cookies have been out of circulation for quite some time, we're still on the lookout for any other brands that combine two flavors of filling in one delicious cookie. Oreo, please get us a chocolate and vanilla cream filling stat. Pepsi Vanilla.
All I want is a Pepsi.
Coca-Cola released a vanilla version of their famous soft drink in 2002, which was discontinued in 2005 but relaunched in 2007. In response, PepsiCo came out with one of their own. Pepsi Vanilla launched in 2003, but it was not to last, unless you happen to live in Australia, where the drink was recently re-released. While Coca-Cola Vanilla continues to be produced to this day, at the time, it seems like there was only room for one vanilla soft drink on the market. Pepsi and Coke have their own respective and very large fan bases, and while some say the drinks are identical, there are many who consider that kind of thinking blasphemous.
How dare you!
Therefore, telling hardcore fans of Pepsi Vanilla to simply replace the discontinued beverage with Coca-Cola Vanilla is out of the question. Pepsi Vanilla didn't do nearly as well as expected. It actually only lasted 3 years, from 2003 to 2006. Oddly enough, while Pepsi Vanilla was discontinued, its diet counterpart endured. While the sugar-free version isn't exactly the same, it's still something. In 2010, Pepsi released Cherry Vanilla Pepsi as a replacement for their regular Pepsi Vanilla. Pepsi has a lot of great flavors, but we have to admit, we really wish Pepsi Vanilla would make a comeback, because a trip down under seems a bit much just to get a taste of Pepsi Vanilla. Gremlins Cereal. Don't get them wet, don't expose them to bright light.
Don't ever feed him after midnight.
These are the golden rules of caring for gremlins, the furry little creatures of the 1984 film Gremlins. Ironically, Gremlins Cereal made for the perfect midnight snack. This Ralston cereal was released as a tie-in for the movie, and as a result, was discontinued when the film stopped showing in theaters. Though it was short-lived, this cereal definitely left a lasting impression on consumers. In fact, fans voted it one of the top cereals of the 80s. However, a reason for the cereal's demise, other than the end of the movie's theatrical run, could have been its lack of originality. This cereal tasted identical to that of Cap'n Crunch, one of the most beloved cereals out there. Naturally, people were more inclined to turn to Cap'n Crunch over Gremlins cereal, as it was already well established as an old favorite.
But to be fair, Cap'n Crunch was a war hero.
Although Gremlins cereal did have a lot of really good things going for it, especially when it came to appealing to younger audiences. Though they looked more like teddy bears than anything else, the cereal pieces were actually shaped like gremlins, which we must admit was pretty cute. Additionally, the boxes came with a bunch of great promotions. There was always a free sticker included, and not only that, but on the back of the box there was a mail order form to buy a plush Gizmo gremlin toy. Jell-O pudding bites.
Pudding.
Jell-O is a timeless dessert. Its variations, on the other hand, haven't stood the test of time nearly as well. Jell-O pudding bites, we're looking at you. Jell-O pudding is delicious, so we get why they'd want to try and expand on its success. And to be perfectly honest, these bite-sized candies were awesome.
Totally awesome!
It's just too bad that they didn't get the appreciation they deserved. This gummy candy did have its vocal critics, but the number of websites petitioning for Pudding Bites' return are proof enough that it had quite the fan base in its day. These gummy candies made for a great way to satisfy your sweet tooth craving, be it as an after-school snack or a midnight treat. Many people have tried their hand at recreating Jell-O Pudding Bites since their discontinuation, but while their attempts were impressive, no one has been able to capture the artificial goodness of the real thing. Feel free to take a shot at making your own. Honestly, the DIY versions are probably much healthier anyways. Keebler Magic Middles.
Wonderful day to make cookies.
For 10 glorious years, we were blessed with Keebler Magic Middles. This fantastic shortbread cookie came in 2 flavors, original and peanut butter. The former was filled with chocolate fudge, the latter with peanut butter. We were incredibly upset to hear of the product's discontinuation in 2011.
This is the worst day of my life.
The reasoning given by Keebler was that they required the equipment used in the manufacturing of Magic Middles to make other, more profitable food items. Despite Despite being discontinued, consumers continue to hold out hope that they may someday return. While Oreos have long held the #1 spot when it comes to pairing a cookie with a glass of milk, Magic Middles were a close second. This was especially true of the chocolate fudge-filled original variety.
I ate 7 pounds of fudge!
There was nothing quite like dunking one of these cookies in a tall glass of milk. It's definitely easy to get overly nostalgic about Magic Middles, so let's cut this trip down memory lane short before it gets too emotional. OK Soda.
Okay!
Coca-Cola's OK Soda was the humble soft drink. Instead of proclaiming itself the next hit beverage, it simply promised to be okay. The ambivalent connotation of the word okay furthered the edgy aesthetic of the can. It seemed that Coca-Cola was trying to lean into the grunge phase of the early 90s. The can's neo-noir design, dark sketches, and bold letters appeared like an attempt at capturing the punk style of the times, thereby keeping up with the popular trends.
I'm with it. I'm hip.
Coca-Cola even came up with an OK Soda manifesto. Additionally, the word OK is one of the most recognizable in the world among speakers of all languages. This allowed Coca-Cola to reach a large audience on the international market as well. But too bad for them, they never got to test the effect of that particular marketing strategy. Due to poor sales in the testing phase, the product was discontinued before its domestic release, let alone its international release. The inception of OK Soda came about in 1993, and its production was ceased in 1995. Surprisingly, after its discontinuation, OK Soda garnered a cult following. So, while it is gone, it's certainly not forgotten. Pop-Tarts Crunch Cereal.
Pop-Tart!
Pop-Tarts are still beloved by many, but their popularity today is nothing compared to how popular they were in the 90s. Despite that decade being their shining moment, this jam-filled pastry has been around since 1964. Since Pop-Tarts were faring so well in the 90s, in 1994, Kellogg's decided to try their hand at a new variation of the snack food. They created a brand new cereal called Pop-Tarts Crunch. The cereal came in both frosted strawberry and brown sugar cinnamon, with each piece designed to look like a miniature Pop-Tart. Naturally, Pop-Tart Crunch was a huge success.
Yes, naturally.
Why was it discontinued? No one really knows. What we do know is that no one is very happy about it. However, we have some good news for you. Kellogg's has announced a relaunch. The 2 original flavors made a comeback, and Kellogg's has promised that the cereal will deliver both filling and frosting in every bite. It's slowly being reintegrated into the cereal market, with the first stop being Walmart. So if you were a fan of this cereal back in the day, take this opportunity to head over to your local Walmart and rediscover this breakfast food from your youth. Hopefully, you take this good news as a reminder not to give up on your old favorites. You never know what food items might make a comeback. Take another bite out of one of our other great videos and tap that screen. And if it's your first time here, show us some love and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.